if you guys don't want your brain to get washed, well, then you're probably dumber than you realize. Like, some people are dumb and they know they're a little bit dumb, but realize this: if you take the connotation and you say, oh, you're brainwashed, and you think that's a negative thing, well, then the only thing I'm going to ask you to that is when your clothes get dirty, what do you do to them? When your cars get dirty, what do you do to them? When your house gets dirty, what do you do? When your body gets dirty, what do you do? Matter of fact, when your hair gets dirty, what do you do to that? So now I know you wash those things when they get dirty, but yet if your brain is dirty, you probably didn't know it was dirty. But now when somebody says you need to get brainwashed, oh, that's a bad thing, right?
I'm from outer space, I got Milky Way for blood, evolution in my veins. I'm gone, I've been far away, I'm illuminated, now I make a move, start the waves. I've been breathing around fire for a long time. I had a vision from the birds, they want a coastline.
Hey, how's everybody doing? Positive and productive, I hope. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for sticking with me. Hey, do me a favor and share the content with friends, family, anybody that you think the content is relevant to. Remember, local elections are more important than national elections, but dollars are stronger than votes. They won't stop until we stop them. Liberation comes at a cost. Who's willing to pay for it? Ladies and gentlemen, jumping into this really quickly. So we're going to play this segment off the Breakfast Club, and I just want you to hear what this guy says, right? I want you to hear it. I don't want to preface it for anything. And then I want to just talk about it really quickly. So just without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's listen to this.
South Africa got over apartheid. Did they just go back to their Afrikaner racist constitution and be like, oh, we just need a couple of amendments. We just need a couple of changes here to make it work? No, they threw the whole thing out and started again, this time asking everybody. Wow. This time having a completely new delegation of all of the people of South Africa, not just the white folks, but not no white folks. And they came up with a new constitution. It's one of the reasons why the South African constitution is generally thought of as one of the best constitutions in the world, and ours continues to be a piece of crap.
So what laws are you saying it needs to get the fuck out of here?
Yeah, so the first one I have in my book is that I want to eliminate every single voter registration law.
So, ladies and gentlemen, you heard that, right? You heard that. And maybe some of you agree with that. And maybe you do. Maybe you don't. Hopefully, as an American, you don't agree with that. And I'll tell you why. So a few of the things he said were somewhat true in the aspects of they redid their constitution in South Africa. That's a true statement. The exclusionary practices, I'm not going to go into the details of that because there's a lot of nuances that are involved in that. I'm going to leave that alone. But for him to say the South African Constitution is generally regarded as one of the best in the world and ours continues to be a piece of crap. Like, what? See, ladies and gentlemen, I'm really getting upset with these Marxists and these liberals and these people who are not proud to be Americans, but yet want America to change and be another place. So if you think South Africa's constitution is so great, fine, and dandy, why don't you go live there in South Africa? Why do we need to change America's constitution to be more like South Africa? Tell me, why do we need to do that, ladies and gentlemen? I don't understand that. Like, if there's already a place that you like that has rules and regulations that you agree with, why not go there? Why do you need to change another ideology, another dogma, or then start incorporating other axioms that are not permissible or beneficial to the sanctity and the preservation of American ideology and fundamentals? And what do I mean by this? Ladies and gentlemen, understand that I make this point all the time, that you have millions upon millions of people risking their lives and the lives of their children to come to America. And then you have people who say things like, well, our Constitution is a piece of crap. The fact that you have freedom of speech, the fact that you could say that, it shows you that our Constitution is not a piece of crap. And then secondly, ladies and gentlemen, he said that one of the first things that he wants to get rid of is voter registration laws. So do you understand how Marxists are trying to infiltrate American ideology and politics by making it to where you don't need to be verified and registered as a voter. So you're picking the leader of the free world, and you're picking the constituents and delegates that will govern your township, municipality, state, etc., etc. And what you're meaning to tell me is, because we're talking about illegal immigrants now, and which illegal aliens, now you're meaning to tell me that I don't have to verify who's coming in my country and who is voting for these leaders. I don't need to verify that. But on the same flip side of this coin or this statement, ladies and gentlemen, I need to verify who you are if you want to get a banking account. I need to verify who you are if you want to purchase a vehicle. I need to verify who you are if you want to get GrubHub delivered to your house or even get an Uber, ladies and gentlemen. I actually have to do some type of verification. But you mean to tell me that when it's time to pick leaders and delegates of the free world, well, I want to get rid of all verification processes thereof. Explain this to me, ladies and gentlemen. I don't understand. I really don't get it. And you have these people going on these platforms like the Breakfast Club and these other syndicated platforms that are owned by the fake Jews. I'm going to call them out, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to start calling them the name that they are, because if they can continue to promote and propagate the N-word, I'm going to start refusing to say it. But if we can still be monetized in saying the N-word, well, listen here, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to just start calling them a word that I know is disrespectful and hurtful to them. Forget the monetization. It's not about the dollars here, ladies and gentlemen. I'll stay on the platform, and I know the people will support me, because I'm tired of these ideologies being promoted and the seeds of Marxism being sown to the American public. I'm tired of the propaganda associated that nationalism is a bad thing, but yet you have so many people coming over here. Why are they flying Mexican flags and various other countries' flags here in our country, ladies and gentlemen? You don't see a problem with it because you've never went to another country and tried to put your American flag up in another country and watch the response you get. You've never went to another country and tried to get benefits and told that and demanded something from another government. You've never done that, ladies and gentlemen. But yet you're going to tell me that we're supposed to do it. And now, because, oh, I'm part of the MAGA cult, I'm brainwashed by Donald Trump. First and foremost, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys don't want your brain to get washed, well, then you're probably dumber than you realize. Like, some people are dumb and they know they're a little bit dumb, but realize this: if you take the connotation and you say, oh, you're brainwashed, and you think that's a negative thing, well, then the only thing I'm going to ask you to that is when your clothes get dirty, what do you do to them? When your cars get dirty, what do you do to them? When your house gets dirty, what do you do? When your body gets dirty, what do you do? Matter of fact, when your hair gets dirty, what do you do to that? So now I know you wash those things when they get dirty, but yet if your brain is dirty, you probably didn't know it was dirty. But now when somebody says you need to get brainwashed, oh, that's a bad thing, right? Somehow I got brainwashed, and that's manipulation. And to be manipulated doesn't mean a bad thing, but you guys have never worked with metal or wood. That's the thing. Y'all have no skills, ladies and gentlemen. So when we use these words, they already invoke negative connotations in you. So when I told you were ignorant, you thought I meant you were stupid. No, I just meant you just didn't know. That's what the word means. But hey, it's neither here nor there. I always tell you guys it's somewhere. More than likely it's on X. It's probably on Rumble. Hopefully you're subscribed. But this is what I'm trying to explain to you, ladies and gentlemen. As we continue to go down these roads, dealing with the fake Jews, dealing with monetization, dealing with people who don't want you to be an American. They don't want, as we pledged allegiance to the Republic, now they want you to not pledge allegiance to Republicanism, and they want you to be a Democrat, even though we pledge allegiance to the flag for which it stands, one nation under God, and to the Republic. Remember that, ladies and gentlemen. So now tell me, why do we have Democrats? Tell me, what does it mean to be democratic? And you guys don't even know this. But yet when I show you Hillary Clinton said that, hey, if you came into the country illegally, you're going to have to pay a stiff fine and you got to learn English. Oh, but when Donald Trump says it, it's racist, ladies and gentlemen. How come when Barack Obama said we're going to use tariffs against China so that they could stop importing cheap rubber to the United States, ladies and gentlemen, that was a great idea when Barack Obama said it. How come Barack Obama is known as the deporter in chief and he deported more people than almost all presidents of the 21st century combined, ladies and gentlemen? How come that was okay? Oh, you didn't know that. So when I say, are you ignorant to these things? Then you say, well, what are you trying to say? I'm stupid, Choosta? No, I just asked you, do you know? Do you know how many people Obama actually deported? Are you aware of these things? So, ladies and gentlemen, when I show you what Bill Clinton said, that illegal aliens are taking American jobs, when I show you what Democrats of yesteryear said, ladies and gentlemen, so why am I wrong because I'm listening to a Republican or a conservative who said the same things that we've all universally agreed with? American ingenuity, the American dream, American freedom, prosperity, the right to pursue happiness. It don't mean you're gonna be happy. It just means I got the right to go pursue it. What happened to these? What happened to? So now, why am I being a conservative? Because I want to conserve the American principles and ideologies that were set therein of. I want to preserve that. I want to conserve that. Yes, I do. And does that make me a coon? Does that make me an Uncle Tom? Does that make me any type of name you need to call me? I'm going to agree with you and say, yes, it does. But you know what? I still want to hold true to the sanctity of conservatism. I don't want to hold on to secularism and the ideology of the LGBTQ community. I don't want to hold on to the aspect of people who are voting for elected officials, delegates, officials in my communities. I don't think that those people could be illegal aliens or people who I don't know who they are. We just had a guy flying drones over Lompoc Air Force Base, and he was a Chinese national with ties to the Chinese Communist Party. And he was flying drones over the United States, and nobody even knew he was in the United States. So you telling me that guy gets the vote? That's what you're telling me as a Democrat. So who said it was a good idea for a man in a dress who thinks he's a woman to read a book about sexuality to children under the age of 10 years old? Who thought that was a good idea? Because I promise you it wasn't an American. I promise you it was not. No American thought that, ladies and gentlemen. I just know that. So now what I'm going to do, ladies and gentlemen, before we end this, I want to set this seed in your brains, and we have to water these seeds. You have to really be thankful, one, that you're an American. And be thankful as an American that you don't have to go too far and you have clean drinking water. Be thankful and grateful that as an American, you have the shelter and the sanctity that you don't have to worry about bombs being dropped on you, and that you're not accosted or persecuted just for the simple things that you say, or maybe even for what your brother said or did. Be thankful, ladies and gentlemen, that here in America, you have the right of religious expression and or freedom. Understand these things. And now, why are these seeds important? Because understand, two reasons happen, ladies and gentlemen. One, you better thank the military and what they have to do to make sure we're safe here in our land. And secondly, which should be the first thing, you better thank the good Lord Jesus Christ. Because if it wasn't for those people who believed in Jesus, you would never have the Constitution that you have. Understand, America is not that old of a country, ladies and gentlemen, but the people who created America and drafted our Constitution that the gentleman just said is a piece of crap. Well, there's a reason why everybody's leaving South Africa. There's a reason why everybody's leaving all these other countries to come to this sucky constitutional place, right? There's a reason why they're doing that. And understand, the people, the four founders, they really sat back and tried to understand what would God want for everybody. Now, no, you cannot please everybody all the time, but you can please some of the people some of the time. And we live in a situation where we're going to try to do the best thing for the most people with as least as possible. That's the American dream. That's the American prosperity. People are going to say that, oh, you know, it was American fundamentalism that got ready, that started to abolish slavery. And People will say, well, they were the first ones to do it. No, they weren't. Because the Arabians and the Persians and so many people, before America was even doing anything, before the white boys in Europe even got themselves out of caves and different things of that nature, understand what I'm trying to tell you. People around the world in Jesus' time, don't y'all know Moses was a slave? Moses was born to slaves. What is y'all talking about? Tell me what y'all be talking about. Y'all just be saying shit to say shit and don't know shit at all. It was an old expression. You don't know shit from Shinola. I literally told that to a girl one day. I said, you don't know shit from Shinola. She said, yes, I do. I said, what's Shinola? She said it was old. It was cooking oil that they used back in the day. I said, no, stupid. That's canola, not Shinola. But thank you for coming. I appreciate your try. I appreciate the try. But we're not giving E for effort anymore, ladies and gentlemen. We're not going to do that. And if you don't know, go do some research in Google. No, I'm not going to make y'all wait. It was shoe polish. It was OG shoe polish package. Shinola was shoe polish, but it looked like shit. It was chunky and it was brown and it was thick and it just looked nasty and you just didn't know. But anyway, I tell you, it's neither here nor there. It is somewhere. More than likely it's on X. It's probably on Rumble. Hopefully you guys are subscribed. So the seeds that I'm leaving you guys with is, honestly, and I know you probably don't want to believe this, but you better be thankful that people who believed in Christ and in God and in Jesus are the people who founded this country. And then you better be thankful that you were born here and not nowhere else. So I'm going to blend the gap in the bridge between American nationalism and Christian fundamentalism and conservativeship and bring them both together because they're one and the same, ladies and gentlemen. They are one and the same. Maybe you don't get it, but I'm telling y'all, listen, hold on, Marty. We about to go back to the future. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. And see, y'all niggas is so stupid. Y'all don't get it. If I tell you that we're going back to the future, doesn't that imply we've been there before? We can't go back to the future for the first time, stupid. It can't be new and improved if it's new. How did you improve it if it's new? Y'all niggas better understand these words that I'm telling y'all, because listen to me. I'm trying to tell y'all, we're going to go so fast. Y'all remember when Lois Lane died and Superman made the world go backwards and then she got back in the car, didn't crush? Maybe y'all not old enough to remember that. But okay, just go do some research when Christopher Reeve was Superman. He went in space and made the world spin backwards. But listen, I try to tell y'all, okay, look, y'all going to get it in a minute. But listen, I'm mustard, y'all catch up. But anyway, y'all stay positive, y'all stay productive. Do me a favor, do your friends and family a favor, and share this content with friends, family, anybody that you think the content is relevant to. Remember, local elections are more important than national elections, but dollars are stronger than votes. They won't stop until we stop them. Liberation comes at a cost. Who's willing to pay for it?
I'm from outer space, I got Milky Way for blood, evolution in my veins. I'm gone, I've been far away, I'm illuminated, now I make a move, start the waves, I've been breathing